Hey, my name's Bep, and oh fucking boy do I have a treat for you. I'm not going to do any preamble, I don't want to wait, so let's get rolling. I was decently aware of this game, but I didn't have a strong reason to indulge before this point. Cassette Beasts has a lot of the genetics of Pokemon, and creature collectors like it, but takes both the story and the mechanics in some genuinely cool and fun directions. I have quite a few personal quibbles with modern Pokemon games, mainly their lack of polish, the dex outpacing the practical constraints of making a AAA game, adding and dropping major mechanics seemingly at random, the rampant power creep, generally shallow stories, and struggling with its own archaic system so much that it took 7 generations to get rid of HMs. It's kind of sidestepping the contrast and ethos between the games, telling you that real trainers win with their favorites, and the reality that post-game content requires ruthless eugenics. I haven't even mentioned the entire series is built on animal slavery, but enough about my childhood obsession maturing into adulthood disappointment. I'm super fucking stoked on this game and I want to share that enthusiasm with you. You wash up on the shore of New Wirral, a land between realities where things stop after slipping through the cracks. You are notably not a 10-year-old child allowed to capture gods, but an adult. You get given a choice of starter without a ton of information, which I do like. I'm flying blind in and out of character, and end up with a little ghost sheepy, but I also could have gotten a fucked up little candy beast. You also get introduced to Kaylee, the first of many companions who have their own specific beasts they have an affinity for. One of the things stops you from changing what their main beast is. I left them be, only swapping tapes when they got knocked out. Oh shit, okay. So, there's so much I have to explain to make even that little bit what I just said make any fucking sense, so let's divert for a little bit. First is the beasts themselves. The beasts are not cassettes, nor do you trap them inside cassettes, a la a genie. What you do instead is attempt to record their actions so that you, the character, can transform into and fight as them by loading them into your tape deck. So you're not trapping hapless little creatures, you're doing Animorphs and fucking up beasts yourself. Is Animorphs reference in back-to-back main videos a bad idea? Nah, probably not. Whatever. Some beasts give you traversal abilities in the overworld, slowly growing how many methods you have to travel around. It starts off easy. Glide, dash, and you get more complex ones over time to the point where when I was hunting shit down in the endgame, I would regularly cross the kind of modest map without touching down for long stretches. In a fight, this is your main mechanical interaction, it's a creature collector after all, you have a kind of dual health bar system. The tape/beast you are currently turned into has 1 bar, and you, the person, have a separate bar. The complication is that any leftover damage from knocking out your current tape goes to you, so with some bad luck or poor planning, you or your partner can get hosed and taken out of a fight completely. You can also do this to other people in trainer fights, but notably there's no way to restore trainer health during a battle, so if someone is out, they're out. You also have to manage your action points, which is a resource you can hoard to cash out harder hits or stay lower to the ground with more consistent damage. The moves are another deal entirely and require talking about how levels work. Like health, this is also a 2-track system. Tapes themselves have a star rating up to 5, and trainers have a separate level. Each tape star gives a 10% boost, meaning that a fresh recording, aka a new capture, and a max star tape have a nice difference between them. But honestly, the majority of your power comes from your trainer level. This means that in a pinch, if for example you're background grinding all of the beasts for some unknown reason, swapping a spare tape in makes even the randos in your backline not completely dead in the fucking water. I like this. While I nested pretty hard with my starter because it had a lot of cool abilities, it does mean that you're not starting from literally nothing if you want to change. Final note on the stars. Getting to 5 is also how you evolve, or remaster, because there's a lot of fun terminology changes, tapes into more powerful forms. There's plenty of nice little branches on this path, and sometimes you just get caught off guard when someone transforms into a thing you didn't know they could turn into. Also, once you get a tape to 5 stars, it continues to level and gives you a sticker every time it rolls over. Stickers? What the fuck am I talking about? Okay. Let's explain that one. Stickers are your moves, and a much more elegantly executed system than technical machines. They come in common, uncommon, and rare, spawning with bonuses that range from completely insane to totally trash. You can rip any sticker from any tape and stick it to any tape that complies with it. So if you snag a random tape with a beefed up version of a tech you already run, steal it. Grab someone with a really good coverage move, steal it. There's no restrictions, no resource expending, nothing. You can make most beasts into total monsters with the right kit, but you have to keep your action point spread in mind. Too bottom heavy and you're too weak. Too top heavy and you have a hard time getting the party started. Also, much later, you're given the ability to synthesize stickers, and that's the point where you can make some absolute motherfucking destroyers. And I fucking love all of this. All these little knobs and fiddly things to fuck with on all your little beasts. And there's more. The game's Beastier has an additional couple wrinkles. You get 1 page of intel for recording a beast or remastering into it, but you need to push a given tape to 5 stars to get the whole entry. I love this change. It means that you don't get it all off the jump, and you need to spend more time with each beast to fully understand them. It makes a lot more sense than a Pokedex does, because how the fuck are Pokedexes not preloaded with literally anything at all? Like, they're just blank, even though they have all the information in them apparently? Each individual beast entry also keeps track of bootleg types you have recorded. I'm not going to do a full breakdown of all the types in the game, but they are unique and the weaknesses are more complicated than do damage bigger. Instead, it utilizes this game's broad spectrum of unique status effects. I'm skipping that for now, play it your goddamn self. Bootlegs are kind of this game's answer to shinies, but are mechanically like Delta species from the Pokemon card game. A bootleg is off-color, usually off-type, but it's not required, variant of a beast that is otherwise the same, and for completion you need to get one of every type. Though I honestly found all the ones I needed playing the game normally, except for one. God damn, I haven't even talked that much about things other than Pokemon letting me down and the game's mechanics. I guess I should touch on the story, even though I'll do my normal bit and be light on the details. After you wash up on New Wirral? Actually, I don't remember how it's pronounced. You're introduced to the world where a good bit of these mechanics are explained to you in the opening section. New Wirral is a place out of time and space, with people being born here, but most of them being dropped from their home dimensions, which share some details with our world, where the player character is heavily implied to be from, but also vary in some kind of insane and major ways. It's honestly cool to meet each companion and see how things are different on their Earths. It gives this kind of interplay and potentially conflict among all of the characters. Because you can morph into a beast without a lot of friction, you are pretty quickly offered a chance to join this team's versions of professional trainers, the Rangers, with potentially becoming a gym leader or a Ranger captain. The Ranger captains themselves are scattered all throughout the world, and each has their own dedicated strategy that you have to have a plan for. This is one of your through lines. Tracking other Ranger captains, battling them, and defeating them. Your other is the Archangels. Oh, were you not expecting Eldritch Horrors? Sorry, we got Eldritch Horrors that feed off of different facets of humanity. Greed, conquest, rebellion, the gang's all here. The first one that you meet, Morgante, offers you a way off the island, and that requires beating the brakes off of all the Archangels hidden in magical train stations manned by a singular magical crab called Magic Crab. That is also your fast travel. Some of this is just kind of like that. I do appreciate how open-ended this is. If a particular captain or archangel whips your ass, you can leave that shit and circle back later, or just bail mid-fight and retool your kit. Oh yeah, you can leave trainer battles in this game. You can flee any battle in this fucking game. It costs you resources, but it's honestly kind of nice not starting a fight and knowing my options are soft reset and ride out this entirely fucked death spiral because I don't have any kill moves. The partners are cool too. You always have one, and there's 6 in the main game, another in the post game. They're all very different, and I loved them. So I'm going to very briefly touch on their broad archetype. Kaylee, the first person you meet, is the sunny character with a dark past. Meredith is the gloomy and emotionally distant goth. Eugene is the hero looking for a cause. Felix is the artist looking for a muse. Viola is sort of the most isekai character possible. It'll make sense whenever you get to her. Sunny is the redeemed villain, and Barkley is a dog. You get a mission with each of them early on, which unlocks Fusion, a totally sick mechanic I promise I will explain in a second. After that, leveling up your relationship with them isn't transactional and you have to give them gifts or do quests. You just hang out. You travel with them, you do stuff, and have conversations about life at campfires and cafes, between beating back hostile monsters and weird, awful beasts. It would be a stretch to say that you have true dialogue options. It's more flavor than choice, but you can influence their trajectories in slight ways. You're also required to romance someone for the platinum, but I saw Meredith and I was immediately locked in. Like, come on. Can't really judge me for that, can you? A consequence of getting closer with someone is that you can fuse with anyone who you have helped out and done their initial mission. Fusion is totally insane and can snap the game completely in half if you cook it just right. The Beastier have about 140 and there are 14 bootlegs. Is that too slim for you? Is that not enough for your shiny hunter brain where you have to punish yourself? Allow me to show you the fusion decks with 16,900 combinations. The result changes depending on which partner's in which slot, so a pair of beasts actually makes 2 fusions if they're different species. I did not even attempt to complete this. I fought tons of fusions. I think my completion was less than 1%. Fusing in a fight gives you a shitload of benefits. It averages out your health bars, which can really save your bacon. It gives you access to a powerful fusion move if you have max pips, combines your stats, and lets you gain 4 pips of action points per turn, even though you only act once. In hard fights, your fusion is so much stronger than you are separately. I can't even tell if I'm insanely cracked or this is literally just themes reflecting mechanics. You are stronger together. Completion of this was a fucking treat. I even snagged and completed the DLC, which I did not need to do. I did it because I just love traversing the world and helping people out. The writing is also very strong and that's part of it. You also have to grind out a bunch of these Radiant missions that you get access to after becoming a Ranger Captain, which is more fun than it should be. Like, logically my brain is telling me it's just busy work, but it captures the feeling that Pokemon always fails to, that being League Champion is a fucking job. You can't shackle a 10-year-old to do wage labor and publicity, but an adult? You regularly take care of fusions out in the wild, curb rambunctious beast populations, and also take challenges from Rangers in training, which is a thing I can't remember if a Pokemon game lets you do, but I've played a lot of them, and none of them did. You even get a post-game story about 2 people who you mentor, and it's so fucking refreshing, knowing that your effect on the world doesn't stop at the plot. There's also a train that serves as this game's battle tower, so enjoy a small montage of my completely monstrous team ripping this place apart at the fucking seams. The first parts of it aren't that hard, but it's better post-game than Dick Hare and Eggbird or whatever the fuck was going on in Sword and Shield. I literally don't remember. I realized I wanted to talk about the story and then hard change course, but I still stand by my refusal to spoil stories for others. Especially when I like it as much as I did this. Pokemon games tend to be very shallow, and this isn't the deepest thing in the world, but it's enough. It didn't make me cry as much as Nier Automata, a game that kind of ruined my brain for several months, but when it was over, I did get emotional. It's not something as winding and deep as 2B's Terrible Time, but it hits all the spots I wanted it to and more, some I wasn't expecting. It's poignant and asks questions about the meaning of life in the face of an infinite multiverse, and makes you wonder what the line between belief and magic actually is. So many characters, especially your partners, try their best to understand what their place is, both in the community-built haven of Harbor Town and in their own worlds should they actually be able to return. It's an isekai at heart, really, but it asks you a hard question. Now that you know that you can survive in this fantasy world, would you actually want to go home? God, there's so much more I want to fucking talk about. I love the style, the music, the designs of all the little goobers. This is stuff I never feel like I can comment on because I'm not like an art guy in that sense. And also I'm very stupid. But like, look, there's a line based on Spring-Heeled Jack, who's kind of a British cryptid, and its branching evolutions reflect a vampire and Jack the Ripper, two speculated origins of Spring-Heeled Jack. That's fucking crazy how cool that is. I realized that later, and it blew my fucking mind. There's so much more. There's so much more I could regale you with, and despite all my time with it, there's stuff even I didn't get to. Like, the multiplayer has its own resource that does something that I didn't fully understand, but in case I've been too stealthy about it, or too subtle, which is not something I'm often accused of, my goal with this is not simply to talk about the fantastic time I had with Cassette Beast. I want to see if I can snag some curious converts to give this one a spin. If you're watching this, there's like a almost 100% chance that you know me personally, which means that I know you're one of three things: person who loves Pokemon, gay, or autistic, and these games have something for all of you. Because, like, for me, there's this weird spot in my games lineup that Pokemon left when I stopped being able to care, and I wanted to fill it with something. And I know I'm not the only person that feels that way. It's hard to see a game not really evolve with you and just bloat instead of sharpening over time, becoming this inescapable burgeoning mass that doesn't have the freedom to adapt because it cannot stop releasing more and more games that are less and less complete. Cassette Beast is a much tighter experience, a journey that has learned from and iterated on its predecessors. It's small but purposefully so. It's so much more compact than Scarlet and Violet or Legends ZA, but it feels much more homely for that. It's like a real place you can traverse at your leisure. KO knocked this one out of the fucking park, and I'm so thankful I was cleansed from the contagion of Martian Gothic, because that game made me want to die. So, at the risk of cursing myself, we'll see what's coming up next. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yep.
So.
Wheel.
Claptrap. 24.
All right, I'll take Claptrap off. Well, what did you say here?
What is 24 then?
I don't know.
Is that radio?
So it's the last one.
Oh, it's the one
red.
from Mac.
Fuck.
Yeah.
This is the game where you have a dead wife. This is the only fucking... It's the only thing I know about this game. Ryan brought it up recently, and I was like, isn't that the game where you have a dead wife?
I think this is one of Matt's favorite games of like all time.
Yeah,
So
I've wanted to play this game for a while. It looks really cool.
I will let you know. Apparently, after I was evangelizing Cassette Beast, 2 people that I know put it on their wish list.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Fuck.
I keep forgetting to do that to mine, but
The way that
I do
Matt
very much.
describes, the way that he describes Dredge, I'm very much interested in it. So I'm very excited to see what your perspective is on it, because I haven't played it yet either.
Doesn't this one have no, that's I was gonna say doesn't this one have Yakuza DLC, but that's Dave the Diver. Different fishing game, a live wife, I assume.
Amazing.
All
Dave the
right.
Diver? Yes.
Holy Diver, etc. Well, I know what I said about it on the sardine tin. Fish fear me, wives die. Joking aside, I don't actually know much about this one, but I am just optimistic because this time it actually rewarded me. For real though, play Cassette Beast or I'm going to break into your house and make you. I'll see you when I see you. Later.